Hello everyone, I'm Nidoking. This is Space Quest 2. Last time I spent some time exploring the surface of Labion a little bit. Got some more important items, and some items that aren't that important, and tried to cross the swamp, but I died. Since the little guy that we rescued from the snare knows more about how to cross the swamp than we do, it's important that I type "look guy" before entering that screen so I have enough time to actually do it. Hooray AGI interface. So he rubs something on himself and then runs across the swamp. I wonder what that was. Oh, I see what we've got that I need to rub on myself. Once again, almost save over my save from the previous video. Well, it would have been interesting at least, but yeah. We watched him get the berries from the bush, and we watched him rub them all over himself. And I'm going to start walking towards the top of the screen, because something is coming up that is really easy to miss. Now, I don't know how long the smell of those berries lasts, but at least for now, I'm not going to die. Now, if you're walking close enough to the top of the screen, then you find this deep area. If you're walking across the bottom, you may never find out that it exists, which is bad. Because there's a puzzle here, and those of us who played King's Quest 1 remember what we need to do in deep water. You swim through the cave. I thought inhaling water resulted in drowning. Oh well. Yeah, the puzzle is a little more subtle than that. Which just makes me feel like it's stupid. Like, let me dive underwater without holding my breath first. Oh, that's such a good idea. At least it's really easy to figure out. Ah, the infamous glowing gem. We have a light source, and also a thing that might be valuable. And to go back, of course, is just as easy. As long as you remember to hold your breath, rather than just diving underwater without. I happened to stumble upon this my first time through the game, just by coincidence, figured out how to get to the gem. So I kind of lucked out. I hear that a lot of people miss this and just never figured out what to do. Because once you cross the swamp, who would think to go back? And there are other parts of this game where you just kind of have to happen to be in the right place at the right time. We'll be seeing a few more of those. Finally back on dry land. And we come to our next obstacle, as I begin to type save rather than just hitting the hotkey. Bravo me! Hey, guess who would forget to hold his breath when he dived underwater? Okay, I'm gonna have to think a little more about how to cross this thing. Clearly a bit more thinking is in order. Alright, so moving laterally is going to be very difficult, but maybe I can move vertically. Not the most obvious solution to the puzzle, but what else are you going to do? So we've kind of made a makeshift bridge. Let's go ahead and get across this thing. Almost exactly the same message. All we got to do is crawl across, rather than standing up. And of course, I wanted to see if it would say something different if I fell off a part that wasn't the actual fissure, but nope. Whereas if we step off the edge here, it's kind of nice they at least bothered to put in a different message for every screen. Let's move on. There's nothing really of interest in this forest. Depending on your definition of interest, I suppose. Yet another trap. Let's see if we can find a way out of this one. Okay, maybe the obvious... Nope, took too long. Yeah, that's right. King's Quest 2 had an ad for Space Quest 1. Space Quest 2 has an ad for Leisure Suit Larry 1. And yet another not quite death. There's no way to avoid getting trapped there. But having reached here, getting down doesn't seem appropriate. See if we can find a way out of this cage. Alright, interesting way of saying I need to get the key. I don't know, it was a guess. Maybe you can get his attention. Guess not. Maybe we can throw something at him. Alright, that doesn't help. Maybe this is food. Alright, we knocked him out. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to have helped very much. And as we saw before, the paralysis doesn't last very long. I love this animation, though. So, I think I had the right idea there. The problem is he was too far away, so I need to get him closer before throwing the spores. He seems to ignore me, but if you yell at him a second time, then you do get his attention. I think there may be some other things you can do, like just talking to him. But once he moves closer, the rest is pretty obvious. I'm free! And he isn't carrying anything else useful, so no point searching him, just grab this rope, which is the entire point of this entire sequence. Yeah, that's a fire, alright. Yeah, I was just kind of playing around. You can't do anything with a fire and don't need to. So let's see if we can get back to where I was. Yeah, they just don't give you a lot of time on that screen. Now, if you look in the background of that screen, which I'm going to return to just now, you can see the shuttle platform where I landed when we first arrived on Labion. That's my goal, but it's going to be a while before I get there. So we very simply move to the left, and we're back to where I was. Just to make sure that you have to go and get that specific rope, the vines are useless. And of course, I wouldn't trust a vine anyway, having played Ripley's Believe It or Not, The Riddle of Master Lu. So with this rope, I'll now be able to climb down into the fissure. But before I tie this rope on, I want to make sure to save it. I don't know whether you can untie it. And if I climb down, that was hilarious. But I'm not really sure there's any way you could figure that out without actually making that mistake. Just seems so reasonable, but we do need to tie the rope to the log, which has already solved a puzzle for us. And now we're safe. Oh, release grip on rope. Okay. Yeah, when it talks about timing, what it means is that pretty clearly we need to swing our way over that ledge on the left. Hopefully not the ledge on the right. I think this is kind of a roundabout way of saying that he's hungry. Now, the swinging is automatic. You don't have to press arrows in rhythm or anything. You just keep swinging farther and farther until we come within reach of the beast. And that's the most disappointing animation in the game. So the key here is obviously you're going to want to release your grip when you've swung all the way to the left, but to make sure that you've got enough momentum, wait until the beast starts reaching for you. You'll notice that he misses 2 or 3 times first, and that's all the timing you need. There are lots of different death messages for falling into the fissure, which is nice. And here we come to a completely dark cave. There are actually enough obstacles in here. It's hard to make your way to the left if you don't know where things are and can't see them, but it's possible to make progress. What else does excruciating ever mean? Well, hopefully, it's pretty obvious how to get through that cave, but I'm going to save the solution to this puzzle and continuing in the game for next time. See you then.